Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will share with you the best tool for teaching kids how to read and write in your target language as someone raising trilingual children myself. I've tried so many different things over the years, and after lots of trial and error, I can finally reveal what I found to be the most effective tool for my kids. And it might not be what you think. Keep watching if you want to find out. We live in a world that's literally flooded with tools and products that claim to make all areas of our lives easier. You can download apps to help you lose weight. You can buy a robot to help you hoover and mop the floor. You can even write an entire book with ChatGPT. And when it comes to education and language learning for children, there are literally countless tools, apps and products out there, ranging from low-tech options like flashcards and books to high-tech alternatives like fancy interactive apps and online learning platforms. Never before in history have we had access to so much information and so many options. So, you would think that raising a bilingual or trilingual child should be easier than ever, right? But in reality, all these choices can be confusing, overwhelming, and even paralyzing. How on earth do you decide which app or platform is the best for your child? Which book series should I choose for my kid to maximize their chance of success? Maybe I should just try everything. After all, if that's what other parents are doing, I wouldn't want my child to be missing out, would I? Leaving aside the mental stress that this excess of choices can bring, the financial cost can add up very quickly. A single bundle of books can easily set you back $50. The supposedly affordable online Chinese school our kids attended earlier this year requires parents to spend something like $1,000 upfront on lesson bundles. And that's not taking into account the fact that the good old days of paying for an app once upfront are well and truly over. 99% of apps these days run on subscriptions. And if you subscribe to multiple educational apps for your child, you very quickly accrue recurring costs on a monthly basis. And don't forget about the cost of a tablet if you decide to go down the high-tech route. Last time I checked, the average iPad cost about $500. Of course, cheaper options are available, but if you're spending money on gadgets anyway, you might as well invest in a good one that will last you a little while. While I have not bought a tablet either for myself or my children, for reasons that I'll perhaps explain in a future video, not today, I have bought tons of different books, invested in online Chinese lessons for the kids, and tried many subscription-based apps. And of course, I've spent a small fortune during this process. And now I can finally reveal what I have found to be the best tool around for teaching my kids how to read and write Chinese. Are you ready to find out? Drum roll please! Apologies for the suspense, but if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel and hitting that like button. I do invest a lot of time into creating useful video content that parents can hopefully gain value from while working full-time as a freelance translator. By subscribing and hitting that like button, you will really help my channel grow and help other parents like you find my content. Thank you so much! The best tool you can use to teach your child to read and write in the target language is something you already have at home, probably. It costs peanuts, and you probably already have a stack of it at home somewhere. That something is, you guessed it, paper, and something to write with, like a pen or pencil. Now, I know, maybe I'm just one of those ancient dinosaurs who hate new technology and are always banging on about the good old days. But please hear me out. In my opinion, there are two main reasons why I think pen and paper can be the simplest yet most powerful tool in your arsenal. First, it is inherently distraction-free. All your child has in front of them is a piece of paper or a writing pad and something to write with. There are no fancy graphics, sound effects, buttons to tap, or keyboards to fiddle with. I have touched on this topic in another video where I share my thoughts about online language schools. I will include a link to that video in the description box below, so feel free to check it out if that's something that interests you. But to sum it up here, my experience with online language schools has convinced me that learning online using electronic devices is not very effective, because essentially such learning programs are primarily sold on the idea of fun interaction, but they deliver little value in terms of actual learning and retention based on my observation. My children would spend, half an hour learning 2 or 3 Chinese characters per lesson, do a ton of interactive activities that get them all excited because they are given the opportunity to press buttons and do fun stuff on the laptop. However, after such sessions, I found that their retention rate was actually pretty low relative to the amount of time spent and the money invested. The Chinese school that we used convinced me to sign on to a separate pinyin learning program that teaches pinyin over 40 lessons or so, which equates to a cost of about $500. We got through half of it, but my son's retention of the information he learned was pretty poor, despite all the fun interactive stuff that he was doing in class, like shooting down zombies with pinyin letters written on them. I eventually gave up on the course, got our money back, and started teaching him Chinese characters and pinyin with just paper and pen. Honestly, guys, the progress we made has been astounding. It's been about 2 months and he has learned a couple of 100 new characters and can spell out the pinyin of any given word with a high level of accuracy. I remember reading an article in the Times newspaper recently about how parents of children at a super prestigious UK private school officially complained to the children's school for giving first grade pupils iPads for learning purposes. One parent interviewed by the paper, who is a highly successful businesswoman, said that she wants her child to spend time reading physical books, to draw, to have the ability to, in her words, think deeply. While I do not oppose to all forms of technology, I think this mum has a very valid point. I think pen and paper learning fosters concentration and limits unhelpful stimulation. It's interesting that parents like her are paying insane amounts of money for the privilege of traditional low-tech education for their children. Let's also not forget the fact that many leaders in the tech world are extremely strict about limiting their children's screen time. I think all these people might be onto something here. Okay, I've perhaps waffled on for a bit too long. Now let's move on to the second reason why I think pen and paper is the most powerful learning tool. It simply offers the ultimate flexibility and room for creativity. Let's dive into this in a bit more detail using my own routine with my kids as an example. My son's just turned 7 and we have a 30-minute Chinese study session every day. We first review some of the characters, words and sentences that we previously studied. That's easy to do because we already have a stack of notes, paper from previous sessions. We do this for 5-10 minutes to warm up and consolidate things that we previously learned. After this, I write out some new characters that I want him to learn on that day on a new sheet of paper. I aim for 3 to 4 characters a day and focus on the most commonly used ones that will give us the most mileage. He then practices writing each of these characters 3 to 4 times. This takes about 10 minutes. Then we move on to pinyin. I encourage him to spell out each of the new characters we learned today using pinyin. And after doing this for a while consistently, it all started to click in his head. We did not actually need to spend 40 hours learning pinyin systematically. The pinyin practice takes 5 minutes or so every day, and I then write out sentences for him to read or write out some questions and encourage him to write out his answer. That's 30 minutes of highly effective learning. And the best thing is that this basic technique can be adapted to suit any individual child. My daughter, for example, loves drawing and is a very visual learner. I actively incorporate drawing into our study routine. When we are learning new words or reading sentences, I encourage her to draw pictures or scenes to illustrate our writing. Or we can flip it around. Sometimes we start by drawing a picture together and then we annotate each part or write a sentence to describe what's going on. The point I'm trying to get across is that the possibilities with just a blank sheet of paper and a writing instrument are literally endless. You can adapt it however you want. It encourages creativity and reduces your child's dependence on technology and sensory stimulation. I can't remember where I read this, but I once read somewhere that a very famous education expert once said that there is almost nothing you can't teach your child with just a pen, a piece of paper, and 2 hours of your time. Very wise words indeed. And please don't think that I'm just a technology basher. I firmly believe technology can be extremely powerful in helping both adults and children learn new things. And your child absolutely does need to learn how to use technology to survive in today's world. But the purpose of today's video is to show you that you absolutely do not need fancy equipment, apps, devices, or spend a ton of money to help your child achieve their language goals and potential. If you know the target language yourself and have the patience, you absolutely can teach them how to read and write with the humblest yet the most powerful of tools that human ingenuity has ever created. So I have a task for you. After this video, go grab that notepad you have gathering dust in a drawer somewhere in your house and a pen or pencil and start a reading and writing routine with your child today. I promise you that you and your child will rediscover the joy of teaching and learning without digital distraction, and you will love the freedom of allowing your imagination to guide you and your child. I hope you got some value from today's video. For more practical tips, advice, and a step-by-step guide to helping your child become actively bilingual or multilingual, check out my book, Bilingual and Trilingual Parenting 101, available in ebook and paperback format on Amazon. I'll include a link to the Amazon page in the description box below. It's jargon-free and jam-packed with practical tips and advice that you can implement with your child from day one. Please also share in the comments below if you have any questions about today's video, or if there are any particular topics you would like me to discuss in any future videos. Also, please like, share and subscribe, as it will really help my channel grow. Thank you so much. Alright, thanks for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.